Good day to and welcome, I'm Bakerization, and this is top 8 mods for Skyrim, which do not change the basic game, but only add some extra content. So let's start with the first one, and this is an important one, Skyeyy. Skyeyy is one of the real must-haves on PC, because it changes completely inventory management and spells. That is something that the game really needed. If you take a look at this, you can see the gear and the original one. The original one it really tells you nothing. However, this new one tells you everything right away. You know that these are boots, these are gloves. That's a really good thing. Also, it's important to have because other mods rely on this one. If you want to have more content in terms of inventory or in terms of items, you need to have Skyeyy today. Immersive Armors. Now, Immersive Armors add a huge amount of armors actually. There is like 55 new sets, yes. And they are quite good. A lot of times they are actually better than the original ones. It might seem like something that's not that important, but it really is, because Skyrim falls slightly flat when talking about the diversity of enemies, and adding 55 new armors means that you have enemies who have or may have 55 new looks, and that brings something extra to the game, because you're not always killing the same bandits with the same studded armor. No, they have these small differences and it makes the game feel more alive. Immersive Weapons is another one from the Immersive set, which is quite good. In the original game there is like 60 or 70 weapons. There are, if we take a look at it, archetypes of sword, axe, mace, dagger and bow. Of course there are great swords, great axe and great hammers. However, you also have 8 types of those. So there's approximately 70 weapons, maybe 80 weapons. This mod adds around 200, or concretely 224, so over 200 new items or weapons. This means that altogether the game has 300 different weapons, with new archetypes such as scimitars, with completely new weapons like you haven't seen before, also crossbows, and it just adds so much again. You will not be stuck with the same looking sword the whole game, or just with one sword. You can actually differentiate between long swords and great swords. Both of them are two-handed, however, the long sword is slightly faster but deals a bit less damage. So you have this again, and it only once again adds to the diversity that was missing in the original game. Complete Crafting Overhaul Remade. Now that's a long one, however, if we take a look at the description, it just adds a lot of features. Some new weapons are in it. You have bags and pouches, jewel craft, cloaks of Skyrim. These things are inside of this one huge mod. So it's like a series of mods. But what it does is that it allows you to deconstruct weapons. You don't have to sell them anymore. That was the only thing that they were actually good for. So in the vanilla Skyrim, or not modded Skyrim, not just vanilla, you had to leave a lot of weapons on the side, just because they weren't worth it actually. You don't want to have inventory full of stuff that costs 6 or 10 gold. And you can have like 10 of those because they're heavy. But once you can deconstruct them, they are really good, because you can once again craft from those. So smithing is easier than ever before with this. And not just smithing, you can use a lot of just further resources in general. And it's really good, and I like this one immensely. As I was talking about the variety of enemies and armors and weapons, the enemies weren't that, there wasn't that many of those. However, there is Immersive Creatures. Yes, another immersive set which adds a lot of new enemies. Even though you might not actually see them right away at the beginning of the game, you might find them a lot of them later on, because the game had some trouble scaling. However, as it stands right now with Skyrim Immersive Creatures, it actually scales very well. You very often found yourself really powerful, and even giants and any draugrs were able to match to you. However, right now, as you go more powerful and powerful, you encounter more powerful creatures. Because there are new ones, they have new, and they are not only more powerful in terms of health, they have new powers. There are dwarven dragons and these things, really good. And this adds so much more to the world, which you think you have actually seen everything, and as you hit level 20 you get new enemies, and it just creates this feeling of full world which wasn't there before. Another immersive one is Immersive Petrels. Now, Immersive Petrels are like one, it adds it just adds petrels to the game. However, there are different settings. So you can have them aggressive, which means that the opposite faction actually tries to kill you on sight, or you can have them non-aggressive, so they just, go by like they don't know you. And you can have two features which are really great in this one. So you can have great battles. You can see where the battles might happen. And well, those battles are that you come to a place and a larger number of petrels actually clashes together. And you can turn this on or off. It's very interesting, and it once again adds something to the game which lacked. Even though they built a system which was supposed to be there, like really, there is this civil war thing all around, but they did not work with it properly. Civil war was just something that happens but has no real interaction with the player. Right now, with this mod, it has, and that's really good. As someone who always played non-mage characters, I wanted to play mage character right now, and well, I have found out that there is Hendricks Magic Evolved, 320 spells. 320 spells adds, I think, to approximate 400 spells altogether, maybe a little less in the whole game. It adds some interesting ones, I have to say. It adds a lot of different familiars, such as this huge spider, if it loads. But it also adds stuff that I have some objections to. Yeah, they are actually fine, but someone might have issues with them, and those are Naruto inspired spells. They are renamed so that they fit into the Elder Scrolls world. However, you can see the inspiration there. It's not that wrong once you get out of this Naruto thing that okay, it's from Naruto, because the names are not from Naruto. But I understand that some people might not like it. But it adds some different things. For example, there are gates and these things which actually increase your stats, and it costs you some health. This wasn't there before at all. So that's a nice touch. In general, it adds a lot more new class schools of magic. I think there are like 8 or 12 new ones, and well, it's really good. I have enjoyed playing mage with this tremendously. And now there are two mods which are just performance ones and look one, the graphics ones. So the first one is remove exterior fog. If you are playing on a low-end up to mid-range computer, you might want to use this one. First of all, I'll show you. This is the vanilla, and you can see all the smoke that's around the mountains. It effectively decreases your FPS outside by 6 or 7 frames. So if you are having like around 28, yes, you will get above 30 without the smokes. It's ridiculous how it helps. Also, why is this so foggy? Even on a really sunny day, it's so foggy. So they added a newer version of smoke, which you can actually use, and it's this one. It adds smoke to it really lowers it, enables mist, but helps a bit with the performance. I think it lowers, it adds you like 3 or 4 frames, and it still looks good. However, if you want even more frames, you might want to use a complete removal, which I have used, and it looks like this. Skyrim is then feels more real. The mountains are never that far, if you think about it. In real life, the mountains this foggy would actually have to be like 200 kilometers away, maybe. Oh, sorry, more or less 100 kilometers, that's it, 100 kilometers away. So, in here it's actually like 15 minutes of walk. And I understand why this is better than this, however this also adds you some frames. So you might want to think about it, and if you have performance issues, take a look at this, decide which one you like the most, and go for it. And the last one is smoke and dust removal. Now once again, this is a performance with one and slightly graphics one. So we have before, and it does not, yep. Before and after. It just removes smokes inside and outside from some sources. From what I saw, for example, benches and smelters and furnaces. Smoke also, yeah, I recall that, yeah. They have smoke effects. However, these small torches and these things, they don't have smoke effects. And I understand that, because this is actually more real than this. If something is burning that brightly, it won't smoke, or at least not like that. Also, there's always this smoke and fog inside, and removing it actually adds you, once again, a little performance boost inside. So if you are having performance issues with Skyrim, if you want to have it more fluid, or if you just hate smoke and fog, then, well, go and try this one. I hope that these mods will be helpful to you and will help you enjoy Skyrim a bit more, because I'm not gonna lie, some features are missing there, and the variety of enemies, the variety of armors and weapons, that's what I've been actually looking for in Skyrim, and what has been missing there in the vanilla, or let's say non-modded game. So I hope that this helps you a bit. Well, thanks for watching, and see you next time.